let's keep it
Right.
moving. I mean, let's go to Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, 27 years old, played for the New York Giants, 14 games, 247 carries, 962 yards. That was an unimpressive 3.89 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns. He caught 41 balls for 280 yards and another 4 touchdowns. Obviously, one of the things with Barkley is his injuries. Every year he seems to get hurt. Well, not every year, but most years he seems to get hurt. And then his projected contract, though, is 3 years for $31.5 million. Obviously, I have a lot I could say about
Mm.
Barkley, but I'll let you guys talk first.
All right, I'll go. So Barkley's a very, very interesting free agent prospect. Obviously, he never lived up to his second round pick, like quote unquote, the next Barry Sanders. That's absolutely not true. So let's tell it that out a bit, okay? So now let's go back to the Saquon Barkley we do know. I will say this: Saquon Barkley has improved his game. He has gotten better in pass protection. He's gotten better in running the ball downhill than he was. He is absolutely lethal when he's running the ball outside. Unstoppable, the best in the league, period. Okay. He also will benefit from a team in which they don't load up the box, where everybody knows your best player is your running back and we are going to stop him. He deserves a team where your best player is the quarterback and he will kill you downfield. I think he'll be good. And especially if he goes to a pass heavy offense, oh my gosh. I feel like he will get closer to the reason why he was drafted. Because he is an excellent receiver. He is an absolutely excellent player in space. If you throw him a screen, he's McCaffrey like, you know? So I feel like with Saquon, the only thing is the injury, but it's just the luck of the draw. He's getting better. He's getting more durable. I can see it the way he's playing. So if I were him, I would not worry much about the money. I would worry about solidifying your legacy. The money will come because the more you get better, the more you showcase why you're special. Being in the Giants just allowed him to really show why he's special. If he goes to a really strong quarterback passing offense that have all the weapons, that will absolutely show what makes him special.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll go ahead and speak up. Well, first of all, I'm going to disagree with you, Olu, that you said that he shouldn't go for the money. The money will come, not for running backs. His time,
Well, you're right. You're right because he
his
doesn't
his,
have
his time.
yeah.
Yeah. His time is pretty much done. Like I mean,
Facts.
unless
I
like
mean,
somehow he just go on these like crazy 1 year deals, right, and just kind
I
of
mean,
bet on
don't go
himself.
to New England if they pay you $15 million.
Yeah. But like the landing spot for him, I think would be the Houston Texans. I think that is a great spot for him to land, just because they're young, they're poised to win, they're poised for a deep playoff run. They need a solid running back. They have a great quarterback who can distribute the ball, can give him the rock as well too. I think Houston would be a great landing spot for him.
Well, the thing about the money for him, though, that has worked in his favor, and again, I'm our resident New York Giants fan, diehard New York Giants fan, because he was drafted so high, his rookie contract was $31 million for 4 years. And then last year, he signed another $10 million. So he's made a good deal of money already. I think the thing that has hurt him the most has been playing for a trash team. He's played for a team with a bottom five offensive line for his entire career. So it's not as if he's had the luxury of playing behind a line like Philadelphia's line or even what Jahmyr Gibbs inherited with Detroit. I mean, he came in with an aging Eli Manning and then got an overdrafted Daniel Jones. I mean, hey, I wonder if some of those injuries were real or if he was just like, man, forget this. These jokers stink. So I mean, when you're getting hit two
I'm
yards
not.
behind
I'm
the
not. I'm not wasting my energy on this.
right, when you're getting hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage every
That was,
play, it's like,
that was bad.
what are we playing for? You're getting hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and your team is 4-10. Oh, coach, my ankle hurt. Like. What are we playing for? I feel bad for the guy. I want him to move on. Like, I want the guy to move on. And he's a good guy. I want him to experience an ounce of success. But yeah, put him somewhere. I would love to see him go with a team that has an offensive line. I would hate to see a guy like Barkley sign with someone like the Bears. The Bears have a lot of cap space. And they have a young running back in Roschon Johnson. But I would hate to see someone like the Bears or him sign with the Bears because he's chasing the money.
So
And
you're
then
saying, so basically you're agreeing not to chase the money?
I think he's made enough. I think he's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's made $30 million already.
For a running back. Well, he's made 40, right? 30 on the
40
rookie
million.
deal, and then the
He's
franchise
made
tag.
$40 million.
For a running back, that's a decent,
That's
you
good.
know, 5-year earnings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's made good money because he was the second overall pick. He can't help it that he was the second overall pick. They chose him there. So I think the reality is I would hate to see him. I think the guy, it's tough to see like what type of, where he's going to go. I mean, if he goes to a place like Houston, Lord have mercy.
Oh my, yeah. I mean, I
That's
feel
incredible.
like tons of running backs will be phenomenal in Houston, just the way that offense is built. And then you it wouldn't just be you. They have Pierce, they have Singletary. I mean, actually, no, Singletary is a free agent as well.
Yeah, and Pierce, they've moved on from Pierce. They're not married to Pierce. But you put him somewhere like Houston, like I said, Chicago's got a lot of cap space. It'll be interesting to see where Barkley lands, but I think he's worth a buy next year, especially if he gets somewhere that has a quarterback. If he goes somewhere that has a quarterback, if he goes somewhere that was successful, Barkley's he's a buy for me. But let's move on. Let's go to Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard last year, 17 games, so he played all 17. He had 252 carries for 1,005 yards, 3.99 per carry for 6 touchdowns. He also had 55 catches for 311 yards. Now, here's the thing. Tony Pollard was not efficient. 2 years ago, he was one of the most efficient running backs in the league. Last year, he was one of the least efficient running backs in the league. Matter of fact, last year, he had 60 more carries last year than he had the year before. All for him to have 2 less yards than he had the year before. His projected contract is a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. Will, you want to go on this first?
I will. I think that predicted contract is a little bit rich for what.
Generous.
For what Pollard brings. So I'm going to make a prediction here. I've seen some buzz around this, some rumors. I think Tony Pollard comes back home to Tennessee. He's born and raised in Memphis, went to Memphis for college. He signs with the Tennessee Titans. He's going to get a more generous contract there than he will for most places because they have the cap space. And he's going to be in a committee. I think Pollard's and he's a committee back from this point forward. We saw last year, again, one of the best offenses and best offensive lines in football. He's not a feature back. He's just not. He's not a finisher in short yardage goal line situations. And I'd love to see him come to my Titans and be in that committee with Tyjae Spears. Now, obviously, Tyjae Spears is also a smaller, agile speed back, can catch out of the backfield. So it's not like it would be a change of pace situation, but he could come in and spell Tyjae Spears. They could do some 2-back sets, which would make life a lot easier on Will Levis, second-year quarterback. And I think just going back home, it'd be nice to be back in Tennessee. So I think it is a fair thing to say that he could end up with the Titans next year.
So I am not big on Pollard. I think Pollard fooled a lot of people last year. And I believe his value's 3 years, 22.5 because 3 years because he's 26 years old.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have as much tread on the tires. But I think he fooled a lot of people because of his efficiency 2 years ago. But he showed everybody he can't be a feature back.
He is not a feature back.
Right.
He's not a feature back. And what's so bad about it was he was on a team that was explosive.
Well,
Dallas was explosive.
well, I have a proposition or a thought. What if you take someone like Pollard and take him to 49ers?
Right, but
No,
either
I don't.
way, he's not gonna be
I don't see
a
him.
Not the
feature
Giants.
back no matter what, and I would say I'm avoiding Tony Pollard in fantasy next year.
So I'm avoiding him, but I was saying, Olu, imagine him in a place like Tampa. You know, put him on a team like Tampa that has a running back. I mean, Rashad White wasn't that efficient, but so now you got two inefficient running backs. But
Yeah.
now they can spell each other.
Imagine trying to trade Ricard White for a first round pick. My lord,
Oh, watch the magic happen, Olu. It's only a matter of time.
somebody will do it too.
I know I'm working some magic behind the scenes.
So, anyways, I see him going somewhere to a team that already has
Yeah,
a running back in place, and then they utilize him in a committee. Utilize a guy like that in a committee. I think Tampa could be a good landing spot for him. I think Arizona could be a good landing spot for him. A place like that. But
I
anyways,
like Arizona. I didn't think about them, but you know who else? I think a place like Los Angeles Rams would be a good landing spot.
yeah.
For
So
me.
the Rams are interesting because they have
Mm-mm.
some space in the cap. They have $43 million of cap space as of right now before rookies are signed. So they have the money. Kyron was good.
Oh, I just thought Arizona might be good for him.
Yeah, and the reason why the Rams is that
That's what I just said.
because so like Kyron wouldn't have to get all the carries. You could throw Pollard
Exactly.
in there, to kind of dispel that. Plus, you can use them in the McVay passing game, right? It gives them more options. Like, I'm not looking forward to that, because I have Kyron on my team, but I think a good landing spot would be like a Rams or a Cardinals.